Welcome into Giants Now by Chat Sports. I am your host, Marshall Green. Make sure you are subscribed to the channel. We put out free, informative, entertaining, passion-driven content every day on the New York Giants. And we also love doing these mailbags where we get to interact with the audience. If you want to be featured on our mailbag next week, go down in the comments right now, comment something, and use hashtag Giants. And if it's a good enough question by the stance of producer Reed, we'll get it on the mailbag next week. My man, DeBrickashaw, who was just clowning us for our new intros. By the way, what are we thinking of the new intro? I hate it. How big of a problem was the O-line coaching, considering most O-linemen regressed after their first season here? The only thing I would say is the Giants' offensive line has been a wreck for 10 years, and Bobby Johnson's only been here for 2 years. I think it's super easy to make Bobby Johnson the scapegoat for the offensive line. I partially think it's pretty lazy. Look, the idea that you're just going to get a new O-line coach, snaps his fingers, walks in, and your O-line is going to be good is not reality, to be quite frank with you. What I will say is it's a little disappointing that Evan Neal has not participated in team drills so far throughout the offseason. So how is he getting better with the coaching of Carmen Bracillo? Look, yeah, Bobby Johnson didn't do a great job. The one player, though, that I think that Carmen Bracillo can fix is John Michael Schmitz. Everyone else, I'm not so sure. Des Powell, what's up, man? Who's the most underrated UDFA free agent or player nobody's talking about enough on this team? Great question. Man, I really want to talk about Tyler Nubin. I know he's a second-round pick, and that's like a cop-out answer. But, like, it seems like no one's talking about Tyler Nubin. And when you select a player in the second round at pick 47, you need that guy to come in and be an immediate difference maker. And I think that Nubin has that potential. He is a true sideline-to-sideline safety, attacks the ball in the air. He's a turnover creator, seems to always be in the right spot at the right time. I'm a huge fan of his, and I think he's going to be able to make an impact early on. And I think by the end of the season, we're going to have our Xavier McKinney replacement. My man Cha, what's up? Have you heard anything about Graham Gano since the injury? What I have heard is he's been participating at practice. He was participating at OTAs, and he also participated at minicamp. There's pictures on Giants.com of him kicking. So good to see that he's battled back from that injury. Mr. Rick was one of the first people of everybody to notice that Graham Gano had an injury. Noticed it pregame at MetLife Stadium when he was working out before the game. He said it didn't look good, and he knows. Cha knows ball. He looks good, though. He's supposedly healthy. JJ Gaiman, 6789. What's up, man? What a game that you think we're going to lose but have a good chance at winning. I don't know if this makes sense. Thanksgiving Day versus the Cowboys. I have the Giants losing that game, but I do think there is a chance that they could win that game, right? And maybe that's just kind of a game that I want to win because I hate the Dallas Cowboys and I unfortunately live in Dallas. That I'd go with Dallas. Thanksgiving. Dallas Thanksgiving. That's the one that I have the Giants losing that I think that they actually could win. We'll get to more questions coming up in a second, but if you want to be rocking a Malik Nabers jersey for week one, chatsports.com/Nabers. It's chatsports.com/Nabers. Click the link, get a jersey, be swagged up. Nope, what's up, man? For all this Bellinger cutting news, let's be honest, he's been caught up with blocking. His biggest problem is Evan Neal because he always had to block Neal's guy, example, Nick Bosa. Well, I do agree with a lot of that. Nope. What I would say is, one, the Giants are not cutting Daniel Bellinger. The Giants and Joe Schoen picked Daniel Bellinger. He is a Joe Schoen pick. You don't want to cut those guys after just 2 seasons. That's a bad look on you and your scouting department. You're admitting that you messed up. What I do think the Giants have discovered, though, and maybe this was never even a thought when they drafted him, or it was the thought when they drafted him, he's not a tight end one. Like, if you're going to have an explosive offense, Daniel Bellinger is not going to be your starting tight end. Like, you want to be dynamic. You want to have an air raid offense. You want to have personnel that puts fear into defenses. Daniel Bellinger is not a tight end one. He's a tight end two. It's an important position. It's an important position. He's a tight end two, not a tight end one. Agree with a lot of what you said, though. Mike G, does Drew Lock start a game this year? If so, then when? Hard-hitting question for my man Mike G. I will say yes when it comes to 0.5 starts. 0.5 starts for Drew Lock this year. I'm going over. So I would say he starts at least one game, whether it's because of injuries to Daniel Jones or whether it's because of bad play to Daniel Jones. The decision to move on from Jones via benching will be based off of the record of this football team. Giants are 2-5. Giants are 2-6. Giants are 2-7. Injury guarantee. Got no choice but to pull the plug. I'll say yes. And when, I don't know, but I think everybody will know when the time is because the season will have been lost. All good. Yo, Mosh. Nabers, Robinson, Hyatt, and Johnson out there would be a problem. That is a lot of speed. 4-3 speed Nabers, 4-3 speed Hyatt, 4-4 speed 4-3 Nabers, 4-3 Robinson, 4-4 Hyatt, might be the fastest out of all of them, and Theo Johnson, one of the most athletic tight ends in scouting combine history. That is an explosive offense. That is an offense that you can be dynamic with. Yeah. Look, I'm tired of talking about potential. I want to talk about production. And all these players are Joe Shane picks. Some of these Joe Shane picks need to start producing. And we need to stop living in fantasy and la-la land talking about potential. Because potential is just something where you haven't gotten production. Grade the Giants roster as is. What do you think? A, B, C, D, or F? If you had to give a grade for the New York Giants roster, what would it be? What would it be? A, B, C, D, or F? The Gaming Cube. Did y'all play GameCube? I think my sister had a GameCube at one point. Will Lawrence, Thibodeau, and Burns be able to become Big Blue Wrecking Crew 2.0? That's high expectations. That's high expectations. How about those three players combined for 30 sacks next year? I think that's more than doable. 10 from each? 12, 10, and 8? Like, how about we get 30 sacks out of these three players? You're in a good spot then. They need to be productive, man. They're the ones that don't do that. Yeah, the heartbeat, the talent, that's on your D-line. They need to carry this team. John Toddy, what's up, man? You think the NFC East got better or worse compared to last year working through my over 6.5 win bet? I think it got better. I think Washington got better. They added a dynamic quarterback. Yeah, I think overall Washington just got better. Added some talented vets, maybe guys that are cooked. Cowboys kind of stayed the same-ish. I think the Eagles got better. I think the Giants got better. So, yeah, I'm going to say better. I'm going to say better. Des Powell, what's up, man? Deonte Banks ranked as a okay, I thought you said he did rank as one. He was not. He was not ranked as a top corner exiting his rookie year. He very well could be, though, exiting his sophomore season. And to be quite frank with you, the Giants need it. Like, you drafted him 24th. I believe it was 24th. And you traded up from 25 to get him. Like, he's the player in your cornerback depth chart that you have invested in the most. He makes the most money. You spent the most capital to get him. Like, we can't consistently not be getting great players in the first round. And in Joe Shane's era, Evan Neal, not great. Kayvon Thibodeau could be great. Deonte Banks could be great. Malik Nabers, I think, has the best chance of all of them to be great. That's why he was selected number 6 overall. But, like, we need Deonte Banks to be a shutdown corner. We need Deonte Banks to go toe-to-toe with CeeDee Lamb, with A.J. Brown, with Terry McLaurin. Like, that's why you pick him, to be able to shut down the opposing team's number one threat. He knows that. I think he's ready to do it. Jamal DeForth. Who do you think will have more sacks, Kayvon or Burns? Like, it's going to be Burns, right? But is it crazy if it's Kayvon? Who's going to get more attention from opposing O-lines, Burns or Kayvon? You line up Dexter Lawrence and Burns on the same side. You have to slide your protection to them. Kayvon Thibodeau could be feasting on the weaker tackle. Give me Burns, but I think it could be Kayvon. James, what's up, man? You think Deonte Miller or Tracy will be returning kicks? If either of them make the roster, I think there's a great shot that both of them could be doing it. I think they'll both get a crack at it. We saw Wan'Dale Robinson at minicamp, mandatory minicamp, I believe, or the last days of OTAs. Wan'Dale Robinson was returning kicks. You want to put a dynamic player back there and maybe not a guy that you'd lose your season if they got hurt. I think Tyrone Tracy would be a great option back there. I do. 6.5 wins for the Giants this year. What's your thoughts? 0 for over, U for under. 6.5 is the line in Las Vegas. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. And make sure you are following me over on social media at @MarshallGreen_, at @MarshallGreen_ on X, on Instagram. I still call it Twitter. X is weird. Hit me up over there. Appreciate it. Let's go.